What is going on YouTube? It's Andreas here from Symmetry 4-wheel drive and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video we are doing something a little bit different and we are going to be looking at one of our friends' rigs and taking you on a brief sort of build on how we got the car to where it is now. And that's Eugene's 79 series. Now you would have seen Eugene on the channel before piloting his white 80 series LandCruiser, so he still has the 80 series, but he has also got himself a 79 series VDJ LandCruiser double cab pickup. So today we are going to be installing some new parts, some sort of preventative maintenance parts onto the vehicle, and also just doing a quick rundown on what the vehicle is, what's been added to it, what sort of state of modification it is right now. So getting into the parts that we're going to be installing, we are going to be fitting a Flashlube Catch Can to catch all of those crankcase ventilation vapors and things like that in the engine. And we're also going to be fitting a Flashlube pre-filter with water separation, a water separation mechanism in it. So those are the two components that we're going to be fitting. We're also going to be prepping the car to install a new ARB bumper that we have also Raptor coated onto the 79, and we're also doing a couple little other Raptor coating pieces as well, just sort of tying in the whole theme. And yeah, we'll just give you a full rundown of what we're doing and how we got to the point that the car is now. So let's jump into it. So alongside this Flashlube diesel filter, we are also going to be fitting a Flashlube Catch Can. So that's a oil breather catch can that fits onto the 79 series. And this again is a very comprehensive kit that supplies all the brackets, all the fasteners, all the piping, everything you need to fit this catch can to the vehicle. So what that does is basically, as far as I understand, the 79 series will recirculate all of its breather gases back into the engine, which can end up dirtying and clogging your engine and your head and your whole valve train. So what this does is put all of those oil vapors into the catch can, which then you can release and take all of that and change the filter, drop all of those fluids and keep them out of your engine and your engine nice and healthy.
No, what happens, what they say is when this blocks, or if you do it the wrong way, that pressure that's coming out here, yes, you're putting then positive pressure in the engine. Yeah. So then you start blowing seals. Ah, okay. And then you get leaks, yes, coming out of your weak O-rings and stuff like that. So this is out and this is in as a sword somewhere. So this is gonna return down this one. This is the in into the filter and then out the top. Okay.
So what we are doing here now is according to the instructions, and we are starting with the oil catch can on the engine. According to the instructions, the bracket to hold the catch can attaches to this bolt on the radiator support at the front of the vehicle on the battery side, and then there is another bolt on the radiator. I don't know if you can see there. There's another bolt on the radiator shroud itself that holds it in, that the bracket will then attach to. So that's just two bolts that hold on the bracket, and then your catch can will sit just here in front of your battery and your radiator, or in between them there. So with these oil breather gases running from the crankcase ventilation back into the intake system, what that does over time is cake up the intake system with all this sort of oil sludge and deposits, And what that will do is highly restrict your intake so that your engine basically isn't getting as much air as it should be. And that can also block up your intercooler with oil particles, all of that sort of thing, and just clog up your whole intake system. So it's good practice to run that through a filter so that all of that doesn't happen and restrict your airflow, which could eventually result in catastrophic damage to your engine. So looking at this catch can, we have just attached the bracket with the supplied fasteners to the catch can itself, and that means we can now install the bracket onto the vehicle on that bolt that we just took out on the radiator support, and then the other bolt on the radiator mounting itself. So the catch can is attached to the bracket, and now we'll attach the bracket into the engine bay here. So for the other bolt that's on the radiator mounting itself, you leave the nut on, that acts as a spacer, and then you'll just add the supplied nut over the bracket then to secure the bracket to the vehicle. So we've just installed the bracket here, as you can see on that radiator mounting bolt, and then the radiator support bolt. So now we're just going to attach the filter to the bracket.
So there is a filter.
So what we are just checking now is that the catch can actually had a filter in it before hooking it all up and running it, because if there wasn't a filter in there, it would just sort of end up as a mess anyway and not do what it's supposed to do. So we just double checked that there is a filter in there before putting it all together. Okay.
Through the filter?
Yes.
And then the center is clean.
That makes sense that that's actually passing through the filter, and
exactly.
The gases go up and out.
Exactly. Where are hoses? This one?
So you know why they use those clips?
Why?
Because like a hose clamp is one tightness, and then when those expand and contract, then you know it cuts into it or not, but those can expand and contract because they pinch. Like, you know, like all the like factory stuff always has like these style clamps, you know.
Lid?
Yeah, the lid is.
I just want to see if I put these angles right.
It looks like it will go right.
This way. That way.
Yeah, that's better.
Straight in and then the offset. Okay. So let's do this one first.
The bottom one, yeah.
Very exciting.
So with this kit, this straight hose will be from your crank ventilation system into the lower half of the catch can. Then we have that bent hose over there, which will then be your out, which attaches
get the branding nice
to the intake and then the top lid of the catch can.
To cut it.
Yeah, a bit shorter so it doesn't kink. I guess they just give you extra length just in case. So I think what Flashlube does is give you a little bit of extra length on the piping, so we notice now that it kinks a bit when you attach it. So we're just going to cut off a section of that hose so that it has a nice free-flowing connection between the crankcase ventilation and the filter itself.
So
we are going to take off about 20 millimeters to an inch on that. So because the radiator hose is touching this inlet pipe for the breather system on the stock hose for the breather system, there's this little sheath kind of foam that's just to protect the hose itself. So we're just going to put that OEM one onto the hose for the new Flashlube system, just to protect it chafing up against the radiator hose.
Beautiful. Easy. And you can also change your angle, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
This is all
well,
in.
like at 90 degrees you can change
yeah,
it, yeah.
Which is quite cool. We said the offset on top, no?
Yeah, the shorter one.
Yeah, it'll fit easy.
Yeah. It just looks like this is in the way, but it's fine.
Yeah, I asked them at Toyota what they think about these things. They said, yeah, everyone does its bolt-on stuff. It's not like modifying the engine.
Yes, yeah.
But if there is ever an issue, that they will look at that if it was the cause.
Yes.
But they have no problem with you doing it.
Yeah. So if you have a look here, we have the inlet pipe going down there, your outlet pipe back into your intake, and that is the piping for the filter and catch can done. So now we are just going to be working on the drain system now, which is below the filter, so that you can drain any oil and other stuff that is collected within the catch can. So one setback that we encountered here is for this drain hose that goes onto the bottom of the catch can. What actually makes things a lot easier is to have the catch can loose and not mounted, then attach the drain hose and then mount the catch can to the bracket, because otherwise it is very hard to get that hose for the drain onto the catch can. So just to note, put that hose on before attaching the catch can to the bracket. If we look underneath the car here, this is where the drain valve is for the catch can. So that's just been cable tied onto part of the chassis here, and then you can drain what gets collected in the catch can underneath the vehicle here.
Okay, next.
So that is the catch can installation complete. Overall, very simple job to do. You definitely don't need to take it anywhere to get fitted, just follow the instructions, and all of the parts are supplied and make it a breeze to fit to your 79 or similar vehicle. From here we are going to move on to the secondary fuel filter or pre-filter installation.